Hey Reddit, what's a book everyone should read at least once in their lives?
Man's Search for Meek to Frankel.
I was 17, I was hospitalized in a psychiatric ward for the first time. My boss, from a fast food joint called Harvey's, it's Canadian, great food, 20 years later I still run into her outside of the restaurant. Got my call saying I'd need a couple weeks off, and I trusted her enough to tell her where I was. Half hour later she shows up with 2 books, that being one of them. I read it that night. I still have it. It is a great book, it really helped. I read it a few times over my 3-week stay, and I had brought a lot of books and we had a library. It was just good, and inspiring. She also gave everyone—
That is a real loss you had there. I wish there were more ends out there.
The Phantom Tollbooth.
I love the point they are in midair and as they grow older their feet touch the ground. That means their point of view never changed as they get older. Unlike silly Milo who as he grows up his point of view is constantly changing. In the last few years I've used that snippet with people that seem to grow down, instead of growing up as they get older. I've had a few that actually get the point.
Census taker, I'm the censor, and I must have some information before I take your census. I was just old enough to get the census pun, and the list of hilarious questions that followed. But then, I warned you I was the census taker. I help people find what they're not looking for, hear what they're not listening for, run after what they're not chasing, and smell what isn't even there. And, furthermore, I'll steal your sense of purpose, take your sense of duty, destroy your sense of proportion, and, but for one thing, you'd be helpless yet. What's that? Asked Milo, fearfully. As long as you have the sound of laughter, I cannot take your sense of humor. And with it, you have nothing to fear from me.
I was going to great philosophy book disguised as a children's book.
Absolutely. I'm 50 now, but attribute this book to my open-minded approach to life. So much in this book is ideal to help children set up their brain to ask questions all the time. Great stuff.
Johnny's got his gun. It's so intense, but it's so good. Metallica's song 1 is based off this book. Guy has his arms and legs blown off, goes blind and deaf, and is left to live like that. I only read it once, but it's forever ingrained into my memory. It hits you like a freight train.
Yes, but it's worth noting he didn't want it to happen. Minor spoilers ahead, so if you plan on reading, skip this comment if you want. I don't think it's too bad. But throughout the novel Joe struggles to communicate with his nurses and it culminates in one point in this really awkward and uncomfortable scene where the nurse thinks he's asking to be jerked off. She's wrong, and it sort of feels torturous. It's a very sad scene because Joe realizes they think he's nothing but an animal at this point and has no needs above basic physical ones. Not to mention this whole time he's been trying to communicate to the nurses that he is mentally functional, and he thought he finally got through to them only to be unwillingly touched. Even worse, though he's initially disgusted by the act, he can't really fight off his natural bodily responses to it. It's a very odd, disturbing scene. I don't think I've ever read anything like it, and I agree with the OC of this thread. It's a novel that will stick with you for a long time and even give you a newfound appreciation for life. I couldn't sleep for a night after I finished my first read through.
All quiet on the front. Everyone should have to reckon with the reality of what war actually means.
I just wrote the same before I read your comment. This book blew my mind, especially as a German myself, and it shows the absurdity of war so damn well.
I should reread it, but I'm almost afraid to. It was really a little experience.
Night, by Eli. It is absolutely heart-wrenching, and I hated every moment of reading it, which is exactly the effect it is supposed to have.
Kicking for this one. I had to read it back in high school and it blew me away how moved I was by it. Stories like his need to be remembered for all time, no matter how hard it is to get through. I'm so grateful that my English teacher assigned it.
Do you have any experiences similar to this?
Please share it down in the comments below. Also, if you like this topic and want more videos like this, please let me know by hitting the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.